and welcome back to Let's Play Katana 0. Something a bit unusual for this video series so far. This is going to be a post-commentary as I go over the speedrun that I did for the, well, speedrun mode. The goal here is to beat the game in under 29 minutes and get a gold medal. Now, real quick, just going over the settings that I picked there. I went with the stable seed, which means that the game plays out very consistently. The enemy behavior is not randomized when I die. I went with max dragon dash. That means when the dragon does his special dash slash ability, that just automatically goes the maximum distance in any direction that you're pointing the analog slash D-pad slash WASD. And I did not set the true final boss because I doubt I could actually clear this goal with the final boss enabled. I am just not that good, honestly. It is doable, but not something within my skill. And I also turned off slow-mo because I don't use it anyway, but also right here, it disables this fan and just makes it that much easier to get through. Now the first level is pretty straightforward, really simple. If you're doing this level well and not using any serious techniques or anything, they'll probably clock in about between 1 minute 7 seconds, 1 minute 8 seconds, pretty consistently. As you can see, the cutscene there is heavily truncated the first time you reach the guy. I opt not to use the lasers here, I just cut these guys down. Kind of flubbed the execution there. I was trying to drop down, but I realized I messed it up, so I just let those guys come to me. There were a couple of execution errors early on in this run, but nothing I felt was run ruining, so I decided to keep them in. That said, they are a little embarrassing. Yeah, like that right there, I just missed that guy. This is not a perfect run, but it clocked in about 27 minutes, 30 seconds, which was actually a new best for me, which I was shocked by, which we will get to why I was shocked by that later in this run. Again, the second level in Murdower Hotel, this is a very formulaic level. Once you get this down to muscle memory, you should be clocking in similar times, usually in the 1 minute, 25 second range. Man, my execution was really terrible on this one. It happens. But as you can see, memorization plays a pretty key role in getting these rooms done efficiently. I know where everybody's come out, I know the most efficient way to strike them without getting killed in turn, so I'm always positioning myself there just so I can take these guys out immediately and move on as quickly as possible. You definitely want to be making small time saves in as many places as you can, because I have had runs up there was the death. I knew I had one death in here. Pretty embarrassing. But yeah, you want to be making as many small time saves along the way as possible, because it is entirely possible to fail the goal time by a matter of seconds. I have had runs where I was between, like, as low as 10 seconds to 30 seconds missing the time, and if there was just a few more time saves along the way, I definitely could have made it. So anywhere where you can just shave off a couple seconds, you definitely want to be going for that. Now, if I remember, I screw up the stealth section at least once here, but it's not a big deal, because it puts them in a much easier to handle positioning, I feel. As you can see, I'm jumping out of the dancing crowds into the dancing crowds so they never see them. I think that guy, you can actually walk right past him if you're quick enough. This guy, I'm just waiting for him to turn around. You gotta be very mindful of those vision cones. If you just brush the top of them, you just fail right there, I have to go back to the start. It's very easy to lose like a minute of time there if you're not careful. You probably noticed that I'm doing a lot of awkward upward slashes. It was around this time that I realized that for whatever reason the gamepad I was using just did not work very well with this game using the D-pad. I think about halfway through the run I switched to just using the analog stick and I start doing things a lot more consistently. But this level actually goes pretty well, all things considered. If you can get through the stealth section in under 30 seconds, that's great. And I think I clock in a little over the 2-minute mark, which is excellent. I've had runs of this level where it was only like just barely under 2 minutes, like 1 minute 59 seconds, and that was great, but unfortunately I'm not consistent enough with the stealth sections to really do that. Yeah, this is around the time I realized, okay, my D-pad's just not working correctly. I was honestly getting really frustrated with it, and I considered just scrapping the run here and starting over, but I decided to play it out because it was early enough. Now we're gonna do this room in a way I believe I showed off in the Let's Play. This is not the fastest way you can do it, but it is definitely the safest. Just take these guys out, let those guys see us, and then run back around to trip the lasers. The fastest way to do this is to just go up the right and cut through all the guys, but that is not nearly as safe, and I am nowhere near as proficient with doing it that way. And the thing I cared more about was consistency with these runs. I just wanted to do these things in the fastest and also safest way possible. I kind of forgot where the zone was to drop down there. Don't worry, this run does get smoother at points, but it also gets a heck of a lot rougher than this at points. 2 minutes, 1 second, that's better than I remember. I could have sworn it was like 2 minutes 10. Alright, Mutual Nil Prison. Obviously, we completely forego the stealth mission here. It's just a huge waste of time, and it's much less consistent than just cutting through the guys, and it does not matter at all. You could theoretically pick up the key in speedrun mode if you have all the cutscenes enabled, since that's one of the settings you can have, but obviously for completing as fast as possible there's no point to, and you know, why the heck would you do that when you could just continue from the level in story mode? That said, there is some merit to enabling all the cutscenes and disabling the timer and the kill counter and stuff, because you can only play the game's hard mode within speedrun mode. I actually thought I messed up the quick clear of that room in this run, but apparently I did it right. Yeah, you can just walk by that second guy on the upper floor, you don't have to kill him at all, and it's much faster to do so. So, since this level is pretty formulaic, I already have all the footage recorded for the hard mode run of this game, which is going to be the final video of this series. It's going to be quite an editing endeavor. And there we go. Mutual Nil, 1 minute 4 seconds. That's pretty good. That's about the best you can do it if you do it the way I do. I think there's ways to shave a few seconds off, but, you know, pretty heavy speedrun tech there. And that room was very clean. I am happy with that. But yeah, it's going to be quite an editing endeavor to get through the hard mode video, because the amount of raw footage I got is like 3 hours and 23 minutes. And yeah, hard mode lives up to its name. That did not go as nearly as smoothly as I had hoped. And I actually had to do the run in sections because I was caught off guard by how long it took. Also, I'm surprised I did not get killed there. You honestly can't really lose time on the Chapel of Doom segment because, you know, you have to wait for the card, so it's basically an auto-scrolling section for all intents and purposes. I forget if I die here. I know at least one of the runs, the scrapped runs where I didn't make the time that I just threw out, I definitely died in one of those on this section. But I think I did just fine here. Okay, we're doing good. Oh, wait, no, maybe this might be the one where I screwed up. Well, we'll see. I know one level towards the end went really terribly. I'm saying it like I don't remember. This is the slaughterhouse that went really terribly. Now, where was my train of thought? Hard mode. A lot to edit. Yes, it was very difficult. I recorded it in sections. There we go. I actually did that really cleanly. And it was quite the experience. The raw fight against the psychotherapist, because I enabled the true final boss to get the full experience on there, that took me almost an hour. It was like 50 minutes and 400 deaths had happened. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Most of it was on the second and fourth phase of the fight, because that's by far the hardest part. This was the room that I screwed up in this run. I'm surprised that gunman didn't kill me. As you can see, I'm not particularly dexterous with the thrown items in this game. Now, there should be a little trick coming up that's slightly faster than just doing this the proper way. If you do an upward slash here, you can jump off the wall and just get yourself up without having to go through that door. Like I said, it's one of those minor time saves that it won't... It's not something that'll break a run if you screw it up, but if you get it right on the first try, you know, they'll save you just that little bit of time that might help you out later on down the line. It's actually pretty important that you do this room on the first go, because if you restart, that guy, that punching guy, is just a little too far from the door for him to be killed with it, and you can't hit those two gunmen with the Molotov cocktail, and that's actually pretty annoying. Also, that swordsman there is also fairly annoying, because if you hit that worm in the background, it can screw up your timing on the sword slash and just cause that guy to kill you. He's definitely one of the more problematic ones, and if it's not working out right, I tend to just roll past him instead of trying to keep swinging with my sword, because I'll usually mess it up if I'm not spaced properly. We did not wait for the robot to finish his spiel, because that takes too much time. One very embarrassing thing that can happen to you if you're not paying attention is that you can roll into those lasers and have to do the section with no enemies all over again. Obviously, that's a huge waste of time. Fortunately, we did not do that. This is a room that's actually much easier than it looks. We just grab that Molotov, blow that room open, kill this guy, and there's gonna be another guy coming up. Actually, wow, I was surprised I was able to deflect that bullet. I forget if this run had a good V fight or not. The ideal time for this level is something under 4 minutes, but, you know, not making that by a little bit is not terrible. Ah, yes, okay, this one was a good V fight. I reflected the bullet there. I forget what the absolute best I've ever gotten on this was. It's something like 3 minutes and 23 seconds or something where I didn't die at all. That's always nice. Still, this fight here, yeah, that was pretty good. 4 minutes, 1 second, only 1 second over 4 minutes. That's not terrible, and that can be accounted for by the death I had. This opening section, I'm always inconsistent with that, but it looks like I actually properly reflected the bullet this time. I threw that can at the punching guy because it's slightly faster than doubling back for him, and we're gonna get a knife to take out that sword guy on the ledge anyway. This is a room that's been pretty shaky for me for a while, but playing hard mode, I found a pretty consistent way to do it. You saw I did 2 rolls there, but you only have to do 1 and you'll get the smoke grenade, and you can just toss it immediately and you'll be okay. Went for a little style there with the bullet reflect. I'm pretty sure at the time when I was playing this, I was certain, like, okay, I'm like 50-50 positive, I'll mess this up and have to redo it, but oh well. It's actually important to be a little bit over there so you hit the light and that shutter comes down and just crushes the guy. Again, this is another room that looks fairly tricky, but it's pretty straightforward. As you can see, these guys are all pretty close to the doorway. Looks like I missed that guy, actually. What's important here is to roll past the first guy, slash the second guy, and depending on the timing, you can repeat the same trick for those guys over there. Believe it or not, this first part right here with these 2 guys standing there, if you mess it up, it's pretty rough. Oh, yeah. Oh well, that happens every now and again. Surprised I got the deflect there. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna blow up the canisters. Just let these guys come through the door to torch them. Now obviously this is far from the fastest way you can do this room, but like I said, safety and consistency over the absolute fastest way you can do that. So doing this little Z pattern around the room works out pretty well for me. And this room here is no trouble. All the guys are really spaced out, so you have to be really not paying attention to get killed by them, which I almost did right there. This was not a terrible mansion, though. Of course, we got the Mr. Kissy face fight. I forget if I did this one perfectly. I think there was at least 1 flub, although I don't think there was any deaths. Knock on wood, of course. This guy is actually a pretty interesting fight on hard mode, but we'll be getting there. With that jumping attack where he throws the axe in a circle, you just gotta wait for it to do a spin and then roll in to hit him as he's coming down. I like to do this cycle so that he's right by the door. Ah, yes, there was 1 flub, but he's right by the door, so once I cut his head off, I'll just be standing right in front of the loading zone for the next area, so we'll immediately transition in, as you can see right there. This, aside from the death in the mansion, I do distinctly remember this being a pretty good, well, mansion highway sequence. The game just, considers it all one level as the mansion, but I kind of consider the highway section a distinct level from it because it's so different. Oh, nice, I got the bullet deflect there. It's been a while since I recorded this, so I forget exactly what I did and how everything went. The only thing I remember distinctly is that the slaughterhouse went really terrible. You can see that I did not throw the can at the guy previously, because I just want to throw it at one of the machine gun guys who's coming up behind us. I do distinctly recall at least 1 run where I died after throwing the bottle at the guy, and that was a complete waste, because you get warped back just to the start of the sequence here, and you don't have the bottle anymore. Oh, okay, but we did hit the save point here. I was pretty sure I had at least 1 death here. Funnily enough, this is a section that I seem to do worse on compared to how it was when I first played it. When I first got to this, the very first time I played the game, I actually didn't die on it at all, which is kind of impressive. Not in the ego-tripping sense, I just mean, wow, I can't actually believe that I managed to get through something in this game without dying once. Sadly, I am not able to duplicate that trick all the time. As you can see, I just let myself get hit by a car there. I think that's actually the first time that's ever happened, so hey, I got it on camera. I haven't really said much for tech for this section. Really, there isn't much to it. Just be on the edge of the screen when things are coming in and cut them as they come in, and that's the best way to do it. It's pretty good to hit V off his bike as he's coming in before he actually reaches the screen, because the helicopter, when you do that, comes in from the right, and I feel it's much easier to reflect the shots when it's like that as opposed to when it's coming in from the left. Obviously, to get a single cycle on this fight, we need to reflect the machine gun fire back at the helicopter, which is a little dicey, but I've found ways to do it relatively consistently. Basically, just be a little in front of it as it comes in, and then slash like a madman once it starts firing. You should deflect a shot back at it and not get hit by the rest of the bullets that come out. As you can see, we got that in under 5 minutes, which is really good. That like, without using any serious speedrun techniques, that's about probably the best you can do playing this in just a standard manner for that level. Chinatown, I think this one actually went surprisingly decently. This first screen, believe it or not, is actually one of the hardest of this level. It's very weird and awkwardly designed. Yeah, as you see right there, I missed the shotgun guy, so that kind of just flubbed me up. So we lose a bit of time here, but if I can get through this only dying once, then I consider that a victory. Generally, the goal time for Chinatown is you want to be, like, done with this in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so if you can meet that, I feel you're doing pretty good. There we go. Second room's much easier. Now this one looks a lot harder than it actually is. You see, you get the really easy bullet deflect there, then just throw it on the smoke grenade. Those guys are taken care of. Missed the throw. Another one of those minor time staves there. Just as you kill those guys, start mashing the interact button so you can go right through the door. This is such a weird room. As you can see, I missed the getting the guy as he was going into the doorway, so I had to just drop back down. This is another relatively tricky room, as you can see. That one was just a missed execution there. Fortunately, I think I get it. I was trying to deflect the little drone there, but I messed it up. Jeez. Uh-oh. I forgot all about that. That was embarrassing to see. I am kicking myself for doing that in the past. Let's see if I can get it correctly this time. Yes. It's interesting to see the flubs you make when you're trying to go fast. Ah, that guy. Sometimes he just reacts as soon as you open the door. A lot of the gunmen in that can be pretty random. Sometimes they give you generous time to react to them. Sometimes they just immediately blast your face in as soon as you kick the door in. This one, as soon as you do the 2 katana slashes, just throw the 2 items and you'll hit the guys on the other side, guaranteed. Another one of those little tricks that you notice doing this enough. I like to throw the smoke grenade there, but honestly it isn't necessary. Just kill the guys as they come in the door. Bash this guy with the door. Now the thing I'm gonna do here, kill this guy as he comes out the car, throw the item, there we go, immediately into the next level. 2 minutes, 9 seconds? Not bad, actually, considering the deaths that I had in that level. Alright, the dragon tapes. As soon as the level starts, just start mashing the A button, kill this guy, and mash the A button again. Yeah, make a lot of use of the dragon dash. I think it's a much more fun and interesting ability than the slow time, so that's why I use it a lot more. As you can see, it's a little finicky. I am not particularly good at aiming it, but we're good there. Took me a while to get it so that I didn't roll into the second laser there. I used to be really bad at that. Gotten a pretty good flow to this level. Killed this guy, immediately dash backwards, kick the door in, roll, deflect bullet. It was only until just recently that I realized it'd probably be smarter to just dash into that room than try to kill the guys with the basic sword slash. Because I'm so against using the focus mechanic, I also kind of underutilized the dragon dash, which is a habit that I've been getting away from. Ooh, yeah, this was not the best dragon tape. Sometimes I can do this room without dying, but this was not one of those runs. Yeah, got the bullet deflect, but he fired another shot into me. Yeah. I do think I still come in under 2 minutes for this level, which is not terrible, but the best I've ever gotten is about like 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's really good. It's deathless. As you can see, I wasn't able to get that guy before he went downstairs, but still. Minute and 27 seconds. If you can get less than 2 minutes on that, you did fine. It's a very short but sweet level. You can die pretty quickly, but you can also finish everything really quickly if you do things right. This is one that there really isn't much of a way to optimize it. I just throw the bust at that guy for style more than anything. Here we just have to roll past the sensor. I did not cut the wire there because it's actually slightly faster to roll. One very important thing is that you have to make sure that that guy comes out of the room a little bit before you cut him, because if you whack him into the sensor, then that activates Leon's tape, and you don't want that. And this is a room that always gives me trouble right at the very end with the three shield guys just waiting up top. I always struggle to get a good way to get through those guys. Now, I said that the slaughterhouse was a level that just went really terribly. It's not this part. Ah, yeah, there's the shield guys. Well, this part did have a death, of course, which wasted on time. But it's a room later on that just really messed with me. I realized I was coming in a bit under time there, so I just backed up and decided to forego getting crushed. Well, let's see if I can get these jumps correctly. Yes, that's what I was trying to do. Just get behind the guys and slash through them all at once. This is another room that sometimes gives me trouble, but I think I did it pretty well here. Gotta be really quick on the throw right there, or else that guy will just shoot the cleaver out of the air and then probably shoot you right after. I specifically used the bomb there to get the sword guy over, because it can be a little tricky to get up and not get killed by him. So just having him right on the platform when I jump up, that was very helpful to making sure I can kill him. Once again, just kick the door in, let those guys come in, and roll past them. Good use of your roll is very important. That was almost a very unclean room, but I managed. Now here's where it all just fell apart on me. I died so many times in this room. This is hands down one of my worst rooms in the game. Only until just recently have I been doing it more consistently, but on this run, I just completely lost it. In fact, I thought I was going to lose the goal here because I just died a ton. And why? It's this specific section right there. I always struggle to find a good way to deal with that. When I start dying on it, you know how it is. You start to get frustrated, you start making mistakes in other places you typically don't make mistakes. It's really annoying, too, because you see, I've got the rest of this room down, more or less, but these guys, they always get me. And of course, at this point, I think I start messing up in other areas. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I definitely gotta work on this room if I ever plan on doing any more runs of this game. Oh, was sliding down, did not get it. I'm surprised that I got the deflector. I could've... Okay, there we go. Now I start messing up on other parts of the room I don't typically mess up on. See, I'm trying to be quick enough there so I can latch the bomb onto the punching guy and blow up the rest of his friends there. Nope, once again. Yeah, definitely I really lost on this level, and I came in like a little over 4 minutes. That's terrible. You want to be around like 3 minutes for this level, and if you do it really fast, you can be like around 2 minutes, 20 seconds. But I just completely screwed up here. I was... Yeah. Finally I get it, and still not very cleanly. Don't go too far into that room, because of course there's a turret at the end of it. You go in, it sees you, it just blasts you. And I also messed up here. It was at this point that I seriously considered scrapping the run, but I was like, I'm just close enough that maybe if I do the bunker perfectly, I can actually pull this out. Oof. Yeah, I messed this up a ton. As you can see, I'm trying to do this so that if you time the rolls perfectly from the entrance of the room, you can just do one continuous roll through all of that. Surprisingly, I did this one just fine. And I think I get through this one just fine also. But yeah, on the very first room, if you just time your rolls right from when you enter the room, you can get by just fine, just one continuous roll. But I messed up the timing, and I kept messing up the timing. Now, despite the absolutely horrible slaughterhouse, the bunker section actually went very well, especially the final boss against the Headhunter. I basically did that about as good as you possibly can do, even in a speedrun setting, a genuine speedrun setting, more or less. It's also one of the rare times I managed to get through that room without dying. If your timing is even off just by a little, you'll screw that up. As you can see, if you throw the bottle at that guy as he raises his gun, you can kill him and not have to get behind him to slash him. Very unusual clear of this room, but hey. Usually, those guys do not all corral around the staircase like that, so I toss the Molotov up to get them up there so I can just cut them. Another room that sometimes I just mess up my timing and die a lot on, but not this time. This room, yeah, for some reason I really dislike this room. I just think it's really boring and terribly laid out. I'm not sure why this room specifically out of any really annoys me. I guess I just don't think it's fun like the other rooms. They're just all spaced out really weirdly. And of course, the room where time crawls. Very slow, but very straightforward. Now, here's another room that I've had to practice a ton to find ways to avoid death all the time. And I found a decent way. I just throw something at that guy to draw these guys over here, and then kill them. Trying to drop down without luring those guys over is a really dicey proposition. It's definitely faster, but I am just nowhere near good enough to pull it off consistently. So recently I've taken to just throwing an item down to take out that first guy and then draw them over. Here we vault over these guys, take out these turrets just for safety's sake. Oh yeah. Oh no, I messed it up. Yeah, I had the wrong throwable item there, so it did not go as I had planned. That was a very weird scenario right there. But what I was trying to do is throw those two throwable items, take out the two gunmen, and take out that guy, and into the bomb. I forget if I have a decent staircase here. No, apparently not. Yeah, this is one where the mistakes can come very, very quickly. But I did fine enough here. I forget if it's this one or right after that I do it. And alright, I made it. Very nice. And if my memory serves me, this hallway section also went pretty well. Just quickly throw the gun at the guy. You want to take the lower path here, it's just so much faster, and it's really not that hard to get through there. I completely screwed up throwing the bomb there. Oh well. Do I get the Molotov toss here? Oh, missed one. Almost. Now for this room, I do the same method that I did for the Let's Play. I just take a counterclockwise motion through the room, clearing it out, as this is just by far the safest way to do this room, and it's far from the fastest, but, you know, consistency. And we're almost at the end. We're coming up on the Headhunter fight. Alright, let me just check my video's time here so that I can cut this at a not awkward place. Alright, got 1 minute and 30 seconds left to the end. As you can see, got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, so yeah, overall pretty good time. This surprisingly ended up being a personal best for me, the first sub 28 that I ever got, which I am shocked by. But yeah, as I said, this fight basically goes about as perfectly as it can go. You can only optimize it a little bit more than this, really. Just killing these guys as they come in, take these guys out, and then roll to where the Headhunter is, cut her before she even can fire. Don't want to be standing on those mines there. And here we go. Final boss fight. Sadly, do not get to hear that much more of full confession than we did in Let's Play. Even less, in fact. But here we cut the turrets, then jump, and cut her out of the air. And then I wait for her, cut her out here. Just quickly grab that knife and toss it, and there we go. Headhunter defeated. As you can see, 27 minutes. And this is where that, like, 10 to 30 seconds figure I said come in. It takes a little bit of time to open the door, and that can cost you the entire run. I have had that happen to me at least once. But, there we go. Gold medal speedrun for Katana 0. As you can see, the slaughterhouse was really awful, but otherwise, gold medals all around. But, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope it gives you some ideas if you plan to take on a gold medal speedrun yourself. Until next time, see ya. Goodbye.